Hey guys, this is Kamil and I want to talk to you about how to be your true self, your real self, when there is so much evil and wrong happening in the world around you. And how do you still keep true to yourself? Okay, so I went to a park today and I started walking, and as I was walking I was thinking about that, because the situation in the world, you know, there is always something that we don't like, and especially now, the things end of 2014, what we face is lots of wars in the world. Maybe not a lot, but you know, the IS, or also known as Islamic State, is waging wars, and there are reports of them being really brutal and murdering people, which is obviously really bad. Then we have financial problems in the world, you know, countries are collapsing. So for example, Japan goes broke, other countries are going bust as well in Europe. I don't know, Greece, Italy, they're having problems. Many other countries are having problems as well, and how do you still not become, but still retain your true self? How do you actually, how can you be your true self in the face of those atrocities and those bad things that are happening? You know, the wealth transfer that is so unfair, it seems. You know, the poor are becoming poorer and the wealth is being transferred away from most people, majority of people, towards the rich, the super rich. The super rich are becoming even richer, while the poor are becoming poorer. The middle class is kind of disappearing because they are either becoming poor, in most cases now I think, or they're becoming rich and super rich. So to address that, first we need to think what it means to be ourselves. So what does it mean for me to be myself? You know, so there are a few ways how you can look at this, and obviously there is this simplistic way of looking. Yeah, myself means being me, and then you can define it saying, oh, myself is being Kamil, or myself is this body and the brain living on this planet, and that's a very simplistic way of looking. But what does it mean? So really there are two good definitions or approaches to understanding what it means to be really you that I have come across. And one is that who we are is really who we think we are and who we talk to ourselves that we are. And when I say talk ourselves, I don't mean that we actually speak or think that, but I'm talking about the conversations that we have in the background about ourselves in various situations. And those conversations, they cause us to behave in certain ways and have feelings, you know. So for example, you have a meeting with someone and you start having certain feelings, but in the background conversations you're having, oh, did I do something wrong? Am I a loser? Will they like me? Or I did this thing again, I'm so stupid, you know, and all those things. And this is who you truly are. But there is another way also very powerful, is looking at who you really are, is what you believe and what your values are, what are your top values in the world, and or generally the hierarchy of values, because that determines who you really are. So things that are most important and things that are least important, and things in between. Now, what do we do with that? That actually shows you who you really are, what you believe, what you stand for, what are your commitments, what are your concerns. And who you really are is someone who stands for something, and you need to decide what that is. And if you see something happening like wealth transfer that you think is not fair, or it shouldn't be, think about this in this way. Okay, there is this thing happening, I really don't like it, it's unfair, and it shouldn't be like this. And now you can decide who you want to be. Do you want to be someone who will actually be indifferent to that and will leave it and will say, okay, let it be like it is? Or you could be someone who might say, okay, I'm gonna do something about this, I'm gonna talk to people, find out what we can do, make sure that there is more equality, there are laws introduced. Or you can choose to be someone who just says, actually, this is not wrong, maybe this is how it should be, this is maybe how the universe designed it to be, and I'm just going to take advantage of it, and I will become rich myself using what we already have. And obviously you can also decide to do it in a very evil way and yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it, there are just consequences of it. Or you can decide to become rich in a very responsible way, like many super rich people, like, you know, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They've become super rich and now they're giving the money away, you know, very responsible way, very noble, we could say. So it's up to you how you want to do it. The same, if there is a war happening, again, you can decide who you want to be, whether you want to be someone who stands for this or against this. And what's important here is to distance yourself emotionally from whatever you choose to be. And what I mean is not just completely be indifferent, but recognize that even though you're campaigning for something, don't be emotionally attached to it, like, oh, I'm right, if we don't do that, this is gonna be really bad, you know. And because you will not allow yourself to listen to other people, that's once. Two, 5 years later you might actually change your mind and then you will think, bloody hell, I was such an idiot. And it happens all the time in life, you know. If you've lived long enough, 20, 30, 40 years or more, you have had many situations when one day you thought this is right, this is good, and then the next day you thought something else, or a few years later you thought, oh my god, I was so stupid, oh, now I get it. And then a few years later, actually that wasn't even correct, because now I can see a bigger picture. So remember that whatever beliefs you have, whatever you stand for, do not get emotionally attached to it too much. Just enough to push it, to keep it going, to get people inspired by you, but not so much that you just are blinded by this and do not allow others to contribute to you, and do not allow yourself to listen to other people, because that you will lose power. You will become an extremist, a tyrant. You know, you, for example, if you are criticizing, let's say, Islamic State for what they're doing, the bad things, but then you go and are so strong and extremist in the way you criticize it, you become exactly what they are. It's just in a different form. And you might say, yeah, but I don't kill people. Well, maybe you don't, but you are using the same character traits as they are using. So you are the same as they are. They just have pushed the boundary a bit further. So be careful about how you express your beliefs and who you really are. You know, you need to learn to express it responsibly, but stand your ground and just say, look guys, this is what I believe and I'm gonna stand for this. Now, here's what happens very often. People, me, you, everybody, we have this evil bit in us a little bit as well. And you don't deny, even if you are a saint, there is some evil in you. And here's the thing, don't fight with it, but observe it, become friends with it, and be responsible for it. And just think, okay, I'm a little bit evil in this area of life, or when I talk to people and this type of conversation happens, I become a little bit malicious and I sometimes say something, you know, that I shouldn't, that hurts other people. Okay, recognize this, take responsibility for this, but don't beat yourself up. You can't change it, you never will, but you can take responsibility and just say, oh, I'm sorry, actually, I didn't want to say it, it's something that I often do, and you know, I'm working on this to stop doing this, but I can't control this, so sorry for that. And that's it. There's nothing else to say but this. So this is who you really are. It's your beliefs, what you stand for, what your concerns are, and the change you want to see in the world. So this is who you really want to be, what it means to be yourself. So when there is something wrong happening, you choose how you want to approach it. But as I said, it will be wise to attach yourself a little bit emotionally from the result, but not completely, but just enough to inspire people and have power, but not enough to actually be completely blinded. And that's what it means to be truly yourself. So either extremes are no good. Being completely indifferent is no good, and being completely like, it's no good either. Now, what are you going to do now about things that are happening in the world? Are you going to be the evil guy? Are you going to be the evil responsible guy? Or are you going to be the saint with a little bit of evil in you? These are all valid choices. There's nothing wrong with whatever you choose, you know, because there is always a little bit of good in evil, and there is always a little bit of evil in everything that's good. Why? Okay, let me show you. Do you know that if you want to create something, you need to destroy something actually? Let's say if you want to draw something with a crayon, you need to destroy a bit of the crayon to make the drawing, you know. But you create drawing. If you want to paint a picture, you need to destroy some paint and maybe a brush a bit, and the paper or the canvas, you destroy it, but you create something nice. You're going for a walk to get some creativity, to get some rejuvenate your body, but you crumpled grass, for example. So you can't really create something without destroying something, and the other way around. If you destroy something, you also create something. You know, and obviously there are consequences to everything, but I think you're clever enough to understand what the consequences are, and if you don't, well, you will learn what the consequences are, and I don't think I need to explain to you what's gonna happen next. You just need to learn your lessons, you know, learn your lessons. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't beat yourself up because I made a mistake, oh my god, I was so evil to that girl, I had such bad thoughts about her, oh, I'm the worst in the world. You know, people have those thoughts, like they come from I don't know where. Some people obviously, or everybody at certain stages, we think that we did something wrong, something evil, but when we talk to other people, they tell us, what are you talking about? It's such a complete BS what you're saying, there's nothing evil in that. Learn not to beat yourself up and accept the fact that you are evil, I'm evil, everybody else is a little bit evil, some people more than others, but we all are. And there is a little bit of everything in us. If you feel really emotional about war, it means that there is something in you that is that causes war around you. Different type of a war, maybe you don't kill people, but you cause some similar damage, you know, not similar, but you cause damage to people, and sometimes even more serious than you realize. You might be hurting people emotionally, and that's the funny thing, we don't really notice when we do something, but we criticize that. So I had this conversation with a few people, and they say, oh, but this guy, he doesn't take into consideration other people, he just says, oh, I've decided this and that's it, I'm not gonna do it. And you know what, they themselves do the same thing, and when I pointed that out, they were in denial, and we humans, we do it all the time, you know. So now what does it mean now? If can we connect it to being our true selves? So if someone does something, sorry, if someone criticizes someone for something that they don't do but they deny, how can we put this into the subject of how to be truly yourself? Well, I don't know yet. Maybe there is no connection, or maybe there is, but it's at the moment it's irrelevant. But nevertheless, that's my message for you today in this video, and I hope you found it really useful, beneficial. And yeah, as always, please leave me comments, share the video with others, and like the video. Thank you for watching. You are brilliant. I always love people who watch my videos. That's why I respond to most comments. I still can. Soon I might have so many subscribers that I won't be able, but still I can every now and then. I'm struggling now, but still for a while I still can respond to most of the comments, and I respond to the comments that I like, basically. Not all the comments, but comments that I like. By the way, if I don't respond to your comments, check, maybe the permissions do not allow me to respond directly, and then I can't be really bothered to find your personal channel or somehow in a different way to find you, to leave you a comment. So don't take it personally, and yeah, again, thank you for watching, and don't be afraid to be evil.